Have you ever accepted a gift that felt off? Maybe it was beautiful or expensive, yet something about it didn't sit right. What if I told you that certain gifts, no matter how well-intentioned, carry hidden energies that could disrupt your life? It's not just superstition. Spiritual wisdom, particularly Buddhist teachings, reveals how the energy of objects can impact your emotional, financial, and even spiritual well-being. Think about it. Have you ever received something that seemed to come with strings attached? Or an item that constantly reminded you of a painful chapter in your life? These aren't just coincidences. They're energetic footprints left behind by the giver, the circumstances, or even the object's history. And unknowingly, you might be holding on to things that block your path to abundance, prosperity, and peace. But here's the twist. Spotting these harmful gifts isn't as straightforward as you think. Some of them may surprise you, like inherited heirlooms, expensive luxuries, or even spiritual artifacts. The truth is, the wrong gift can weigh down your energy and attract misfortune in ways you'd never imagine. So, how do you identify and protect yourself from these seemingly innocent traps? Stay with me as we unravel the 8 types of gifts that could secretly be sabotaging your success, and what you can do to free yourself from their grip. You'll learn how to break free from hidden negativity and make room for the wealth, clarity, and harmony you deserve. Energy in gifts. When we accept a gift, we're not just receiving an object, we're inviting the energy it carries into our lives. This idea might sound foreign, but it's rooted in deep spiritual wisdom. Just like how certain places, people, or even objects can make us feel energized or drained, gifts too come with an unseen vibration. Think about it. Have you ever received a gift and felt an instant connection to it, as if it was meant for you? That's the energy of the gift resonating with your own. On the other hand, some gifts can bring us a sense of unease, even if we can't quite pinpoint why. The energy attached to these gifts might not align with our own. For instance, imagine receiving a gift from a person you've had an uneasy interaction with. How does it make you feel? Chances are, it carries a subtle undercurrent of their emotions, which may not always be in your favor. The Buddhist teachings around this are clear. Everything in the universe, even the smallest object, has its own energy, and that energy can transfer to you, for better or worse. The beauty of understanding this is that you don't need to be spiritually advanced to recognize the effects of energy. Ever walked into a room and immediately sensed that something was off? Or been around a person and felt an instant bond, as if you've known them forever? These are all subtle exchanges of energy. So when a gift arrives in your life, be mindful. Ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Does it spark positivity and joy, or is there something unsettling about it? Sometimes we may not even be aware of how certain gifts can influence us. Take a simple piece of jewelry, for example. If it's been passed down through generations or comes from someone with unresolved issues, it could bring with it negative energy from past experiences. That energy could disrupt your harmony and peace, subtly weighing you down. The key here is awareness. Pay attention to how the gift makes you feel and trust your instincts. If the energy feels off, it's okay to politely decline or re-gift it. In the spiritual world, especially in Buddhism, there's an understanding that everything is interconnected. The energy we attract is often a reflection of the energy we give off. When you're constantly surrounded by positive, uplifting gifts, it helps nurture an abundant, prosperous mindset. On the flip side, accepting items with negative energy could interfere with your spiritual journey, potentially blocking the flow of wealth, success, and peace in your life. It's not just about the object, it's about what it brings into your life, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. So, next time you're presented with a gift, take a moment to tune in to how it feels. You don't need to get caught up in the material value. Instead, focus on the energy it carries. Does it feel like a token of love and good intentions? Or does it carry some form of emotional baggage? If you feel conflicted, it might be wise to let it go. This practice will bring clarity, helping you surround yourself with gifts that resonate with your goals of prosperity and spiritual balance. As you begin to notice the impact of energy and gifts, you might also start seeing patterns in your life, gifts that have served you well and those that haven't. This awareness can open the door to more intentional, spiritually aligned decisions. Just imagine how this new understanding could shape your approach to relationships, abundance, and your overall well-being. Inherited objects. Inherited objects often carry more than just sentimental value. They hold the energy and history of their previous owners. In Buddhism, it's believed that unresolved karma and emotions can linger within such items, subtly influencing the lives of their new keepers. Think about it. Have you ever brought an inherited piece into your space and felt an unexplainable heaviness or tension? It might not be the object itself, but the stories and energy it carries. This becomes even more significant when the item's past is linked to someone you didn't know well or whose life was fraught with turbulence. Imagine inheriting a mirror from a distant relative who struggled with constant strife or misfortune. That mirror may inadvertently hold remnants of their energy, reflecting that into your space. It's not about being superstitious. It's about being attuned to what you allow into your sacred environment. Take, for instance, antique furniture passed down through generations. While it may be beautifully crafted, it's also steeped in years of energy. Some of that energy might be positive, symbols of abundance and prosperity, but other times it could hold unresolved emotional imprints. When accepting such objects, a simple practice of cleansing, such as meditating with intention or placing the object in sunlight, can help neutralize lingering energy. It's not just about rejecting all inherited items, it's about discernment. Objects with a clear and harmonious history, like a handmade quilt from a beloved grandmother who lived a peaceful and abundant life, often bring blessings and warmth. However, items linked to contentious inheritances or complex family dynamics may carry the echoes of those tensions. Pause to consider the emotional or spiritual impact of these objects on your life. For practical application, if you're unsure about an inherited item's energy, try spending time with it before fully accepting it into your space. Sit quietly, holding the item, and notice any sensations or emotions that arise. Do you feel a sense of peace and joy, or does discomfort creep in? This practice can guide you in making decisions aligned with your spiritual well-being. Some people hesitate to decline inherited items out of guilt or obligation, but remember, your peace and prosperity come first. You can always honor the memory of a loved one without taking on their objects. Consider alternative ways of remembrance, like planting a tree or creating a digital photo album. This allows you to cherish their legacy without compromising your spiritual balance. By being mindful about inherited objects, you cultivate a space that aligns with your energy and aspirations. This practice is not about rejecting history, but about embracing the parts of it that empower your journey toward abundance and peace. And when you find harmony in your environment, it naturally extends into all areas of your life. Complicated relationships. When you share a tense or complicated relationship with someone, the gifts they give often carry an emotional weight that's hard to ignore. In Buddhist teachings, every action, including giving, comes from an energetic place, be it love, guilt, manipulation, or even obligation. Accepting a gift from someone with whom you have unresolved issues can unintentionally invite their negative emotions into your life. Think of it as an invisible thread that ties their energy to yours through the object. For example, imagine receiving a beautiful piece of jewelry from someone you've recently argued with. On the surface, it seems like a kind gesture, but beneath the glitter lies unresolved tension. Every time you wear it, you might unconsciously replay those negative emotions, creating a loop that drains your energy. That's why it's so important to evaluate the intention behind the gift. Sometimes it's not as generous as it appears. One common scenario is receiving gifts as a way to make peace after a disagreement. While this may seem like a step toward reconciliation, the underlying energy can carry manipulation or lingering resentment. Instead of accepting the gift, consider engaging in a heartfelt conversation to resolve the issues directly. Emotional clarity is always more valuable than any material possession. Practical wisdom here is to trust your instincts. If a gift feels like it comes with strings attached, it probably does. A subtle way to decline without causing offense is to express gratitude for the thought and redirect the gesture. For example, you could say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm focusing on simplifying my space right now." This keeps the interaction respectful while maintaining your boundaries. Sometimes, gifts from complicated relationships are meant to spark guilt or a sense of obligation. A common example might be an extravagant gift from a distant family member during a time of conflict. While the gesture might seem grand, it often carries a silent expectation for you to make things right on their terms. Such dynamics can drain your emotional energy and disrupt your sense of balance. Being mindful of these dynamics empowers you to prioritize your well-being over social expectations. If a gift feels like it's rooted in guilt, control, or unresolved conflict, remind yourself that declining it is not a rejection of the person, but a way to preserve your own peace. You have the right to curate what enters your life, both materially and energetically. By consciously navigating these situations, you'll notice how much lighter and more aligned your life feels. Gifts should uplift your spirit, not burden it. And when you make room for positivity and clarity, you naturally create space for prosperity and abundance to flow into your life. Conflict-laden items, gifts obtained through disputes, often carry more than just material value. They're laced with the residual energy of discord, anger, or bitterness. In the spiritual world, particularly in Buddhist thought, such items act as conduits for unresolved tension, bringing their tumultuous vibrations into your life. Think of these objects as silent witnesses to conflict, carrying the emotional baggage of their history wherever they go. Imagine inheriting a family heirloom after a heated dispute over the estate. While the item itself may be beautiful or valuable, it's hard to ignore the energy of bitterness it might bring. Each time you see or use it, you might be reminded of the conflict, subtly rekindling those emotions. These lingering feelings can create a barrier to the peace and prosperity you seek in your space. It's not just about inheritance. Gifts with contested origins, like items divided during divorces or business disagreements, can also carry this energy. For instance, receiving a piece of furniture from a friend who fought with a sibling over it could bring an invisible shadow of that tension into your home. The object may look harmless, but its emotional resonance can disrupt the harmony of your environment. One way to mitigate this is by practicing energy cleansing rituals for these items. For example, placing them in sunlight for a few hours or using tools like incense or sound bowls can help neutralize their vibrations. However, even with cleansing, it's essential to reflect on whether you truly want these items in your life. Sometimes, letting go is the most powerful way to reclaim your peace. Consider how these objects might subtly shape your emotional and spiritual state. If an item reminds you of a conflict, even subconsciously, it might limit your ability to fully embrace abundance and joy. In such cases, returning the gift, donating it, or even repurposing it can transform its energy. For example, a contested piece of art could be gifted to a neutral space, like a community center, where its presence serves others positively. You might worry about the social implications of rejecting such items, but your well-being should always come first. Politely declining or finding an alternative resolution is an act of self-respect. A simple phrase like, "I appreciate the sentiment, but I believe this piece may find a better home elsewhere," can gracefully close the loop without escalating tension. By freeing yourself from conflict-laden items, you open your life to objects and experiences that truly resonate with harmony and abundance. When your environment is clear of emotional weight, you'll find it easier to focus on what matters most, building a life of prosperity, spiritual balance, and meaningful connections. Painful memories. Some gifts, no matter how well-intentioned, can anchor us to painful chapters of our past. They serve as constant reminders of events, relationships, or circumstances that we've worked hard to move beyond. In Buddhist philosophy, clinging to these emotional ties can block the flow of abundance and hinder spiritual growth. The energy of such items doesn't just sit quietly, it subtly influences your mindset and emotional state. Think of a gift from an ex-partner tied to a breakup that left you emotionally drained. While the object itself might seem harmless, a book, a piece of clothing, or even a photo frame, its association with that difficult period can keep reopening emotional wounds. Each glance at it can stir feelings you've tried to heal, pulling you back instead of helping you move forward. It's not just about relationships. Painful memories can also stem from specific events. Perhaps a friend gifted you something during a time when you were struggling financially or emotionally. While their intention may have been kind, the gift can become a symbol of hardship, subtly reinforcing a scarcity mindset or feelings of vulnerability. In such cases, it's crucial to reassess the item's presence in your life. One effective way to let go of these emotional anchors is by performing a symbolic release. For instance, donate the item to someone who might genuinely appreciate it or repurpose it into something that no longer evokes the same memories. Imagine turning a gifted sweater that reminds you of a sad time into a cozy blanket for your pet, transforming its purpose and energy in a positive way. Sometimes you might feel obligated to keep these items out of loyalty or guilt. A common example is receiving a keepsake from a loved one during a family dispute. While the intention behind the gift may have been pure, its connection to the conflict can overshadow its sentimental value. It's essential to remind yourself that your peace of mind matters more than holding on to something out of duty. When in doubt, ask yourself, does this item bring me joy or weigh me down? If it's the latter, consider it an opportunity to create space, both physically and emotionally, for new, uplifting energy. Decluttering in this way isn't just about tidying up. It's a profound act of self-care that signals to the universe that you're ready to welcome prosperity and harmony into your life. Releasing objects tied to painful memories isn't about denying your past. It's about honoring it while choosing to focus on your future. By letting go, you create a sanctuary for abundance, wealth, and spiritual alignment to flourish. And with every step you take toward this clarity, you'll find yourself naturally attracting the positive energy you deserve. Spiritual artifacts. Spiritual artifacts are more than just decorative or symbolic items. They carry profound energy and significance. In Buddhism and many other spiritual traditions, these objects are believed to hold the intentions, practices, and sometimes even the karma of their creators or previous owners. Accepting such items without understanding their origins or purpose can invite unintended energy into your life, disrupting your spiritual balance. Imagine receiving a beautiful Buddha statue as a gift, but you're unaware of its cultural or spiritual meaning. While it might seem like a thoughtful gesture, its placement in your space without proper reverence could unintentionally misalign the energy it was meant to bring. Spiritual artifacts are not just objects, they're vessels for energy and intention. Another common example is receiving prayer beads, a mandala, or a sacred symbol from someone who practices a different spiritual tradition. These items might carry the giver's intentions, but they may not align with your own spiritual path. Using them incorrectly, or without understanding their significance, could lead to unintended energetic consequences like confusion or disharmony. If you receive a spiritual artifact as a gift, take time to research its background. For example, if it's a Tibetan singing bowl, learn about its role in sound healing and meditation before using it. If you feel the item resonates with you, incorporate it mindfully into your practices. However, if it doesn't align with your beliefs or lifestyle, it's okay to respectfully decline or rehome it. A powerful way to handle spiritual gifts is through cleansing and intentionality. For instance, you can cleanse the item with sage or incense, meditate with it to set a new purpose, or even consult someone knowledgeable about its origins. This ensures the object carries energy that aligns with your goals of peace, prosperity, and spiritual growth. Remember, not every spiritual gift is meant to stay in your life. Sometimes these items are better suited to someone who deeply understands and honors their significance. For example, a gifted talisman might be a better fit for a practitioner within its tradition rather than sitting unused in your home. Trust your intuition. If an artifact doesn't feel right, there's likely a reason. By being mindful of the spiritual artifacts you accept, you're taking a step toward protecting your energy and maintaining alignment with your values. This practice isn't about rejecting generosity, but about ensuring that every item in your space supports your journey toward abundance, clarity, and spiritual harmony. Conditional gifts. Conditional gifts may seem generous at first, but they often come with hidden strings attached. In Buddhist philosophy, true giving is free from expectations and obligations. However, when a gift is given with conditions, it can subtly compromise your sense of freedom and peace. Accepting such gifts might lead to feelings of guilt or manipulation, creating emotional or spiritual imbalance in your life. Consider a scenario where a friend offers you an expensive piece of jewelry, but later hints that they expect you to attend every event they host in return. What initially felt like a thoughtful gesture suddenly becomes a tool for control. Conditional gifts like these can blur the lines between generosity and obligation, leaving you with lingering discomfort or resentment. These situations are even trickier when they involve family or close relationships. Imagine receiving financial help from a relative who later expects you to handle all their errands or family disputes. While the gift may provide immediate relief, the ongoing obligations attached to it can weigh heavily on your energy, preventing you from fully focusing on your own goals and prosperity. To handle conditional gifts, clarity is key. If you suspect a gift comes with expectations, address it early. For example, you might say, "Thank you so much for this. It's incredibly kind of you. I just want to make sure I understand if there's anything you need from me in return." This gentle approach opens a dialogue and sets boundaries without confrontation. It's also important to trust your instincts. If a gift feels too good to be true or leaves you questioning the giver's motives, it's worth reflecting on whether accepting it aligns with your values. Politely declining, when necessary, is an act of self-respect. A simple statement like, "I deeply appreciate the thought, but I must respectfully decline," keeps the interaction respectful and protects your peace. For those who struggle with saying no, consider reframing your perspective. Declining a conditional gift isn't about rejecting the person. It's about honoring your own boundaries and creating space for genuine, unencumbered generosity in your life. By letting go of these strings, you allow abundance and prosperity to flow freely into your world. By being mindful of conditional gifts, you're not only safeguarding your spiritual balance, but also reinforcing relationships based on trust and authenticity. In doing so, you create an environment where true generosity thrives, one that supports your journey toward wealth, clarity, and lasting peace. Excessive luxury. Sometimes a gift that seems overly luxurious can create more discomfort than joy. While generosity is beautiful, an extravagant gift can disrupt the natural balance of a relationship, especially if it feels mismatched with the nature of your connection. In Buddhist teachings, harmony and simplicity are valued, and gifts should reflect sincerity rather than excess. When luxury overshadows intention, it can shift the energy from appreciation to obligation. Picture this. A colleague surprises you with an expensive designer watch for no apparent reason. While the gesture may seem flattering, it can leave you questioning their motives. Are they trying to impress you? Are they expecting something in return? These unanswered questions can introduce subtle tension into your relationship, diluting the purity of their offering. Extravagant gifts can also create an unspoken power dynamic. For instance, receiving an overly lavish gift from a friend might make you feel pressured to reciprocate at the same level, even if it strains your finances or comfort zone. This imbalance can lead to feelings of inadequacy or resentment, both of which block the flow of prosperity and genuine connection. A practical way to handle such situations is by focusing on the giver's intention. If the gift feels like an honest expression of care, acknowledge it graciously while setting clear boundaries. For example, you could say, "This is such a thoughtful gift. It's far more than I could ever have expected. I truly appreciate your kindness." This response expresses gratitude without committing to reciprocity. Sometimes it's okay to gently decline a luxury gift, especially if it feels burdensome. For instance, you might explain, "This is such a generous gesture, but I feel it's too much for me to accept." This not only preserves the relationship, but also reinforces the idea that meaningful connections aren't dependent on material displays of wealth. Remember, excessive luxury doesn't always come in material form. It can also manifest as offers of expensive trips, elaborate favors, or other grand gestures. In such cases, it's crucial to assess whether the gesture aligns with your values and intentions. If it doesn't, redirecting the offer toward a shared experience or simpler alternative can maintain harmony while honoring your boundaries. By prioritizing balance and authenticity over extravagance, you cultivate relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Letting go of the need to impress or be impressed clears the way for a life filled with genuine abundance, spiritual clarity, and harmonious connections. Gifts in conflict moments. Gifts exchanged during or after conflicts often carry more than just their physical presence. They act as emotional imprints of the tension surrounding them. In Buddhist philosophy, such objects can hold residual energy of anger, guilt, or unresolved issues, affecting the harmony of your space and relationships. Accepting these gifts without careful consideration might prolong emotional strain rather than fostering true reconciliation. Imagine a scenario where a friend gives you a gift after an argument, hoping to smooth things over. While their intention might seem positive on the surface, the item itself can become a lingering reminder of the disagreement. Instead of symbolizing resolution, it may serve as a subtle anchor to the unresolved emotions tied to the conflict. This dynamic becomes even more complex in familial or romantic relationships. Consider receiving an expensive gift from a partner following a heated dispute. While the gesture might feel like an apology, it can sometimes mask deeper issues, such as avoidance of communication or an attempt to buy forgiveness. In such cases, the gift becomes less about reconciliation and more about bypassing genuine emotional healing. To approach such situations mindfully, prioritize open communication over material gestures. For instance, if someone offers a gift after a disagreement, acknowledge their effort while steering the conversation toward resolution. A phrase like, "I truly appreciate your thoughtfulness, but I think it's important we address what happened first," can pave the way for meaningful dialogue without rejecting the gift outright. Sometimes it's best to politely decline gifts given in moments of conflict, especially if they feel insincere or manipulative. For example, a co-worker who offers a small token after a heated meeting might not be addressing the core issue. In such cases, redirecting the focus to the matter at hand can prevent the gift from becoming a distraction or a superficial fix. Practical solutions, such as accepting only symbolic gestures of peace, like a shared meal or a heartfelt letter, can be more impactful than material gifts. These alternatives encourage connection and understanding without carrying the weight of unresolved tension. For example, suggesting a cup of coffee together instead of accepting a physical gift can transform the energy into one of reconciliation and openness. By handling gifts in conflict moments with mindfulness and clarity, you prioritize emotional harmony and spiritual balance. This approach not only protects your personal energy, but also fosters healthier, more transparent relationships. In doing so, you create space for abundance, peace, and mutual respect to flourish naturally. Now that you've uncovered the hidden truths about these seemingly innocent gifts, the question remains: what will you do with this knowledge? Life is full of choices, and even small ones, like which gifts you accept, can have a profound impact on your journey toward abundance, prosperity, and spiritual clarity. As you reflect on the 8 types of gifts we've discussed, take a moment to evaluate what you currently hold on to. Are there objects in your life that may be anchoring you to negativity, conflict, or scarcity? What would it feel like to release them and create space for new, uplifting energy? Remember, your home, your relationships, and your personal energy are sacred. Protecting them isn't selfish, it's essential. By being mindful about the gifts you accept, you're sending a powerful message to the universe that you're ready to welcome true prosperity and harmony into your life. Now it's your turn. Have you ever received a gift that brought more harm than good? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this resonated with you, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with someone who might need it. If you're ready to dive deeper into unlocking wealth and spiritual wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Together, we'll explore more ways to align your life with abundance and peace. After all, the journey to a better life starts with awareness, and you've already taken the first step.